The only way to win is not to play the game, dude. That's the thing is you take yourself out of the game. If you're playing everybody else's game, who's to why the dating market's so screwed up, and how you can sidestep all that is that you're too damn goal oriented. All right. We talk about all this crap on the internet. My channel, everybody's channel. What do we talk about? High value man. Let's be a high value man and set goals and do all this stuff. Hey, man, do all that stuff. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying be a loser. But I mean, we're talking about the dating market, though. Losers get laid all the time. I mean, look at the pickup artist world on the internet. A lot of them are pretty much losers or recovering losers. Not all of them, but a lot of them, and they get women. You know what I mean? It's like look around you. Go hang out. Think of your high school, and then think of your college, and then think of your current place of business and social circles now. Think about your local bar, tavern, and watch all the girls that are hanging around and hanging off some loser's arm. All right. Think about all the losers that got laid in high school by chicks who got into their own little competition with themselves and saw this, loser as some sort of prize. Think about all the, goofy dorks, goofy jack dudes in college. They used to get laid all the time. Maybe you're one of those guys, right? I've certainly been that, that guy before, not so much in college, right? Think about the guy at the bar or whatever that some chick just decides to go home with. I mean, is she picking the high value man? No, she's not. No, she's not. You know what I mean? Be a high value dude for you, and certainly being a high value guy will give you better options with women. I'm not denying all that, but you guys get so goal oriented about this stuff that it's like you're treating these other human beings like they're things and like they're transactional. You know, we say to ourselves and we talk about on a sort of a men's advice platform to help you guys out to watch out, right, for that woman who's hooking up with you for transactional reasons. But you sort of turn that thing into a transactional relationship or an interaction yourself in a sense because you're not actually just making a connection with this other person. You're trying to get a notch count. You're trying to get a lay. You're trying to get a good plate. You're trying to get, in the interaction, you're trying to weigh out what does she do for me? You know what I mean? Does she cook me dinner? Okay. And it's like, what things does she bring me? And what, can I get a deal where she brings me the most things? Because I'm a high value man and I bring her the least things. And that way I win this interaction. It's very pathological actually, when you think about it. And it screws your game up. It doesn't help you. It makes you guys suck with women. All right. And it makes the dating market no fun. Okay. It makes it like no fun at all. The reason why those losers a lot of times did well with women, and the reasons why I can relate it to my own life, whether I was a loser or a winner, depending on what part of my life you're looking at. All right. The reason I was doing well is because I didn't give a fuck about any of that shit. I didn't care. I didn't care about any of it. I wasn't having a goal. There's no goal in mind. Some girl didn't want to sleep with me. I didn't give a crap. If some girl did want to sleep with me and I thought she was cute, then cool. We just bang. Who cares? Right. And that attitude is what gets you what you want. That's the mindset because it's an interesting thing. In order to get what you want in the dating market, you have to stop at some point making it a goal oriented event. Because making a connection with another person and having a human experience with another human being is got to be absent of your goals in a way. All right. It has to be some sort of you're having an experience, and that experience isn't the goal. And at some point, you lose your ability to seduce and the ability to um have that great experience. Because see, what you're trying to do, right, is you're trying to have a good experience, and that involves creating a good experience too for you, the other person, right? How do you do that? Well, that's an emotional event that involves a human social connection. If you treat it like it's a transaction and like it's a measured thing, I mean, that's first of all very pathological. It's very narcissistic. Okay. At the very least, could be any of the cluster Bs. Okay. You're sort of, it's very antisocial personality, like very almost psychopathic, depending on where you're taking it, where you're sort of just everything's a calculated event to get something out of this girl. If that's how you're approaching things, there's guys, I'll tell you what, on the internet right now, if they hear me say this, they won't understand at all what I'm talking about. Because there are guys on the internet that I measure are these pathological people. And they're telling you how to pick up on women. And they're telling you how to calculate all this stuff. The enjoyment for them, okay, isn't a human connection because they're not wired that way. But unless you're part of this, 2, 3, maybe 4% of the population that that is psychopathic in a sense, unless you're part of that, all right, and cannot make a connection with another human being, or if that's you, I really don't want to, I'm not really talking to you much here. The rest of you, most of you guys, that you want the human connection. If you're frustrated, by the way, upset, or not happy and all that stuff with, well, you're probably not that 3 or 4% with no ability to connect with someone, because those guys don't care if they connect with somebody or not. It's all a game to them. Well, essentially, and that's why they do well, right? It needs to become a game for you, but you won't be able to do it like a narcissist. You can act like it, and you can put out those behaviors. You can be that person if you make yourself be that person, but you won't get fulfillment from it. You won't get any kind of happiness, and you won't be able to recognize who you're dealing with. You're not going to be able to vet her out for being a good long-term prospect if that's what you're trying to do, because that involves making a human connection, because making that connection with that person creates this and creating an emotional experience for them where they're high desire, high intensity. It requires some empathy and being able to recognize whether or not they're having that experience or not. And it's that experience and that emotional buy-in that it will drive through all the other traits. She could have all the green flags in the world and none of the red ones. But if she doesn't have that emotional buy-in and that connection with you, and you're not connected to her enough to even notice because you're too goal-oriented, and maybe she's too goal-oriented too, because she's thinking transactionally as well, right? Well, none of it will matter. Her green flags and lack of red flags won't matter because she won't have the emotional buy-in to drive her into a deep state of desire for you. Her instincts may want to push her there, but if she cock blocks them, okay, with her behavior and her paradigm and way of thinking that she's been conditioned to have, and if you cock block yourself by not being able to create this experience for her, you see what I'm saying? You can't even see it. You won't even be able to see it. You're going to be in your own damn way. And how do you have a fun experience with somebody if you're constantly weighing out, right? Like almost like in a Ben Franklin list, pros, cons list when you're dealing with some girl. You can't. All right. You can't even see her for who she really is. How can you protect yourself? How can you enjoy it? You're hindering yourself. And that's why the dating market sucks for you. You got to stop worrying about the goals. The only way to win is not to play the game, dude. That's the thing, is you take yourself out of the game. If you're playing everybody else's game, Whose frame are you in? Whose rules are you playing by? Right? Who's making the rules? She's probably making them. The marketplace is probably making them. You win by taking yourself out of it. You decide what it is that you want, despite what everybody else is doing. And then you figure out how to make that happen.